in what is a rematch from the Olympic quarter-final last summer in Rio. And how about that for a record from Roniel Iglesias? And that performance against Abbas Barao, the reigning European champion, was absolutely masterful, diffusing the front foot aggression of the German pressure fighter. Lars Brovel of Denmark with the final instructions. He'll be the third man in the ring. And we're underway. The first of a scheduled three 3-minute rounds in the 69-kilogram welterweight division between boxers from Uzbekistan and Cuba. The boxer wearing red, operating out of the orthodox stance, is Shakram Giasov, 24 years of age, the reigning Olympic silver medalist, the reigning Asian Continental Championship gold medalist. And his opponent is also a Continental kingpin. And the man in blue is a 2012 Olympic champion. That is Roniel Iglesias from Cuba. The tournament top 2 seeds going head-to-head in a rematch of the Olympic quarterfinal from last year, where Iglesias was unlucky to be declared the loser as he lands a good right jab in the opinion of many observers.
I think Giasov started brightly here, Ron, and that's what he's probably got to do here, because Giasov, he had an easier, I would say, semi-final. It was quite a hard fight against Jusupov, but the fight that Iglesias had against Barao, the German, it was a real hard battle indeed. And so if I was Giasov, I'd be stepping on the gas a little bit and just testing Iglesias' fitness, because it was only yesterday, remember, it was a really hard bout indeed.
So the concentration of both boxers absolutely locked in. Good left hand from Giasov once again. And he likes to embellish his shots when he's landed successfully by exhaling loudly, dropping his hands, making facial expressions. Iglesias with that right uppercut while on the retreat. Launching that right hand towards the southpaw is Giasov. Iglesias so comfortable up there in the boxing ring. That cut over his right eye happened late in the 3rd round of his semi-final victory over Barao. And he's getting onto the front foot, trying to force Giasov backwards. And we haven't seen Giasov being forced into reverse too many times during this tournament. He likes to feint. There's a hard single from the man in red, because he's a very explosive individual when he feints over that front foot and then launches with fast-fisted attacks.
Yeah, drops his hands a little bit too much for my liking, Giasov, but he's setting a trap there. He wants his opponent to come forward, and then he just springs back with that fast right-hand counter and finishes on the left hook. So that's the trap he sets with those low hands. But yeah, so watch what he's doing here against Iglesias, who is an Olympic champion, remember, in 2012. So he is quality, one of the more experienced Cuban boxers. But Giasov, I think he's fought the right round here, Giasov, in that he's really upped the work rate.
Cuffing left hands got through, and then a wonderful counter left hand from Giasov. And again, he embellishes it with a little bit of swagger as he saunters his way back to the red corner.
He is the silver medalist of the Olympic Games 2016 and the 2017 ASBC.
A fairly close round. Giasov started off well, right-hand counter going through there. On the inside, a bit scrappy. Iglesias comes through with a nice left uppercut on this occasion. He just misses with that hook. But Giasov had some success of his own, hands very, very low, swinging away. That's a terrific jab from Giasov.
Into the 2nd round of this 69-kilogram gold medal welterweight bout, and it's a furious start by both boxers, right on top of the logo, toe-to-toe exchanges. And Iglesias looking to establish some quality.
Well, Iglesias really showing his fitness here, isn't he? We talked about that real hard semi-final that he had, but there's no signs of him being tired just yet. He's actually responded well to Giasov in this opening of the second round.
Landed with a good right jab before the boxers fall into a clinch. But again, the change in tempo from Giasov, because he goes from being almost static to explosive. And so it perhaps emphasizes the quickness of his punches even more. Referee allowing the boxers to work away at close range. Iglesias picked up his 4th America's Continental title early this year. That's a terrific southpaw right jab from the man in blue. Celebrating his success was Giasov. Giasov making the man miss. Glancing right hand to the body from the man in red.
Occasionally, though, Iglesias just makes the odd mistake, Ron. He throws that 1-2. He missed a couple of times, and that's when Giasov has got to watch out for that and come back with those fast counters. But his hands are so low. Look, he wants him to come forward. That's the trap that he's setting. Iglesias has got to do it behind an educated right jab. That's what he should be doing. He's probably allowing himself to get too close, and that's giving Giasov just time to score those shots on the inside. Iglesias has got to do it behind, maybe a double jab or a straight long right hand.
A wonderful left uppercut turned underneath there from Iglesias. Both men looking to draw that lead that they can counter. Use of the shoulder was some rough stuff from Giasov. Again, continuing the mugging and the gesturing behind facial expressions onto the front foot. Misses badly, a little bit of flashy footwork to get himself back into his boxing stance. And so he always gives the impression of being busy, of about to threaten something, Giasov. Here we see a switch between orthodox and southpaw, but no effective offense behind it. But there's a good 1-2 from the man in red. But he spends an awful lot of time as he lands another 1-2. But in between these bursts of accurate punching, there's an awful lot of activity without much happening of consequence. He looks so busy.
He's quite clever, Ronald, isn't he? He boxes in spurts, he really does. He goes for a walk and has a little bit of a rest, and then he explodes into action, and it is eye-catching.
So another good round of boxing. Giasov with plenty of success with his explosive flurries. And his enthusiastic support in the crowd continuing to make their presence felt. There's the injury that Iglesias picked up deep into the 3rd round against Abbas Barao in the semi-final yesterday.
Well, if the first round was a close affair, this one I thought was clearly a Giasov round. Good round from the man in red. Explodes into action, then he goes for a walk and he rests. Iglesias has just had trouble just working his opponent out here. Great 1-2 from the man in red there, and he wants his opponent to come forward.
Again, every success that he has is celebrated.
Yeah, as if to show the judges as well, Ron, but he got
Most
caught at the end of the round there.
So we're into the 3rd and final round of this 69-kilogram welterweight gold medal bout. That's a rematch from the same stage of the quarterfinal stage of the Olympic Games last summer. Good left hook by the reigning Olympic silver medalist Shakram Giasov, who really began to find his range in round number 2. Made Iglesias fall short, made him miss, and then landed with some eye-catching combinations, particularly the basic 1-2, exploding into range with fast feet and picking off the shaven-headed Cuban.
Iglesias has got to be more accurate with his jab here, Ron. He keeps coming forward. Occasionally he's missing. He's been caught with a couple of good left hooks. That's mainly because he carries his lead hand a little bit too low to the chest and waist area, Iglesias. That's his style. But he's just come undone in this round a couple of times with that left hook that Giasov has thrown. So he's got to keep that right hand a little bit higher. Look, Giasov again trying to land the left hook.
Roniel Iglesias, a reigning 7-time national champion of Cuba. His first senior title came way back in 2005. 29 years of age. Good left uppercut from Iglesias. And he has been at the top of AIBA Open boxing for such a long time, taking a world title in Milan 2009. When he went to retain it 2 years later, he lost at the first preliminary round stage. And that's when there was no qualification for world championship. So that was the round of 64. Lost to Denis Berinchik, who eventually came away with silver. Good right jab from Iglesias. It's beyond the midpoint of the third and final round. And again, fighting in spurts is Shakram Giasov. Iglesias trying to work away, but can't get anything away of quality. So again, on the back foot is Giasov. Hard right hand whipped into the body, and it's reinforced for the judges once again as he holds up that right hand in acknowledgement and celebration. And again, the facial expressions continuing, goading his man in. He landed a good right hand, which he celebrates, but he took a couple of shots in return, followed by a final left hand from Iglesias.
I think he's a clever boxer, Giasov. He's more tired than what you think, but he goes for a walk and he bides time and buys a few vital seconds by doing those walks, and he showboats. He's a clever lad, is Giasov. And it's the eye-catching stuff again from the man in red. That left hook.
Because despite the fatigue he may be feeling, every time he launches an attack, it's of the fast twitch, full velocity variety. Very explosive fighter. And here's evidence of it once more. Winding up the right hand, a la Sugar Ray Leonard, 1976 Olympic champion from Montreal. And they're absolutely delighted in that red corner. Shakram Giasov, warmly embraced by his coaching staff. After a very good performance, a clever display from the reigning Olympic silver medalist. And look at the contrasting body language over in that blue corner. They're far more subdued, and one suspects they feel that it isn't their night, whereas in the red corner, they are confident that it's their man who's about to be crowned as world champion. Have to say, for what it's worth, I agree with the body language that's being demonstrated, or as we're interpreting it from the two boxers. But of course, it goes down to the 5 scoring judges.
Yeah, clever display from Giasov here. Some of the eye-catching work, most of the eye-catching work was from him. Yeah, I think he's won it.
Shakram Giasov is the world champion. A unanimous points decision winner over the legendary figure of Roniel Iglesias. He warmly embraces the corner team of the man who have just conquered him. And Shakram Giasov with his trademark celebration. Absolutely ecstatic, so too are his fans. A unanimous points decision winner to claim world championship gold here in Hamburg. And the Olympic silver medalist becomes the AIBA World Boxing Champion, Roniel Iglesias, beaten for the second time in 2 encounters against Shakram Giasov. And if he was fading in the third and final round and picking his spots in which to fight, well, he's found some energy now, because those are some high-octane celebrations. Uzbekistan claim world championship gold in the 69 kilogram welterweight division, a division where they have enjoyed such success